Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to what is now our 13th live stream presentation from Rowe Gallery here in beautiful Tlaquepaque. This is Fritz, as you know, and I'm Ken. I'm going to let him go to work. So, as an artist and a gallery owner, we are so proud of our artists. Not only are they amazing painters and sculptors, but ironically, they're amazing people. And I can't think of a better example of somebody we're so proud to have in our gallery than Dane Chinnock. Dane is here today to carve out a place and time, which is the title of today's show. So Dane, welcome to the show, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do. But let's first talk about your palette knife. This is all knife work.
Yep.
There's no brush in here.
No, well, the sketch out is brush.
Yeah.
Just to sketch it in.
Okay.
And then it's all palette knife.
And we're going to see this in action today. So this is an area you and I are both familiar with. It's called Clear Creek.
Yeah.
Very, very remote, but it kind of looks like Oak Creek too.
Right.
So you do a small version of this first, and then you go to your studio?
Sometimes I do. Okay. As you know, West Clear Creek is
rough.
You're not going to take this gear down there so much. Yeah. So that's just a lot of fun. Like I will go down here and end up with 4,000 photographs I got to flip through and see which one I want to do. But yeah, generally I like to try to do a sketch, plein air, and then turn it into a bigger studio piece. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to do. So I'm going to let you set up a little bit, and we're going to review what happened this week with Jeff Christensen molding Simba, or the title of the piece is actually Vantage Point. So you may have remembered last week we had a segment where we showed him narrating, putting the rubber on, the first coat of rubber. And so now what he's doing is putting multiple layers of rubber on, but what he also has to do is he has to separate the two halves of the mold. So he's working on the head here. He's putting a divider up, which he'll mold against, and that'll give him the ability to take the mold apart in two pieces. So that way it doesn't disturb the next step, which is a wax that comes from that mold. So with that, we'll keep you posted on it. And so, Dane, let's get to what you're going to do. So you have your palette set up.
Yep. So this is my plein air palette set up. Yeah. It's Joshua Bean's Day Tripper. A little plug for Joshua Bean.
Oh yeah.
I think pretty much every artist in America has these these setups. They're super light. They do exactly what you need to and nothing more. And
it's all collapsible.
It's all collapsible. All folds up into my little backpack right here.
Perfect.
And so I can get to some places. I wouldn't take it, down to this creek here, but they're it's amazing, and I can, do some plein air.
So you start with a photo in this case, like as you did with this one, maybe.
Yep.
And so this is what you're going to be painting today. And this is a scenario out of Prescott.
Out of Prescott, it's up by Thumb Butte, which is the major landmark in Prescott. And I just things catch my eye, and this little angle here caught my eye, and the way this prickly pear, the berries on top are up into the skyline there, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Okay, so I have to tell a story. I have to embarrass you by bragging about you a little bit more. So in 2016, I was one of the jurors at the Phippen Art Museum.
Yeah.
And two other incredible painters were jurors. Cynthia Rigdon was one of them.
Okay.
And so, as you know, it's a blind. We don't know who the artists are they're submitting. There's tables full of submissions with photos and portfolios, right? So each artist, separate of the other, each juror, separate of the other, would go through and pick their top 3 choices of each division. And then you meet and say, okay, what were your top 3? Mm-hmm. All of us chose you. And I did not know who you were at the time. Yeah. So then I asked the other 2 painters, I said, in the entire body of work that's been submitted today, who stands out to you the most? And it was you.
Wow.
And it was exactly what I was thinking too. So in that same year, 2016, you were awarded the Award of Excellence by Southwest Art Magazine at that show. Yeah. 2017, you were given the honor of being the artist to watch in Southwest Art Magazine. Yeah. And it's been a great ride for us here at Rowe Gallery. So
so I owe most of what I'm doing now to you, Ken. I was honored and surprised.
It's your talent. It's your absolute talent. So tell us about these 2 brand new paintings you brought today.
Hey, gentlemen.
Yes.
Ken and Dane, we've got Shelby coming in just saying good morning, and she's really looking forward to this.
Welcome back, Shelby. We love having you.
Sylvia coming in, Sylvia Herbert.
Sylvia.
Sylvia and Liam. Just good morning to Dane and Ken. Looking forward to your paintings.
Thank
folks coming
you.
in and viewing already, so it's awesome.
The family's chiming in. I love it.
Coming in.
And don't be shy, please. Randy is here to convey any questions or comments you may have, because I know you're going to have a lot when you see what's going to happen. Yeah. So these scenes are from the Prescott area as well?
No. So these, my youngest son and I took a trip out to Santa Fe, and on our way back, we just had lots of time, and we would stop wherever we felt like stopping. So there's just some scenes along the way. I like that. Anyway, from here to New Mexico is just as flat as can be, and that's what I really love. Is just these long open meadows, nothing going on.
Well, I love the drama you've gotten in the clouds and everything else with these paintings, and even in the texture, you can see the shadows being casted in the texture of your palette knife, which you have to consider, I assume, as you're painting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, these are beautiful, so we're glad to have them, and we'll let you get to work. So,
all right, see what I can do here.
So where do you start?
Okay, so being a palette knife painter, first of all, you have to be careful. Actually, just this morning setting up, this gets razor sharp. Just
From
basically sharpening it. For 2 years, I've been sharpening this basically on canvas and whatnot.
So it's broken.
They actually get real, and I find myself doing this, and I look down and blood is dripping out. So they actually get really sharp. But so being a palette knife painter, I don't have to carry a lot of paint thinner and turpentine. So what I'll do is I'll start with a little bit of that, and I can seal that up, and it's not hanging from somewhere and getting everywhere. But so I'll take a little bit of some orange and a little bit of blue and some white, and I'll mix that in and get that real thin.
And this is basically what you're going to draw with?
Well, this is what I'll do the backwash with, and that's just to get so that I'm not working on stark white.
Oh, gotcha. And this is kind of a warm color I'm seeing right now, right?
Yeah.
Ken and Dane, we got a fellow painter and a member of your gallery or another artist, Jen Farnsworth.
Oh, Jen
coming in.
Farnsworth.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying how beautiful the paintings are. And she says, you're so talented, Dane.
Thanks,
Yes.
Jen.
From one to another there.
Yes.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah. So yeah, this will kind of go just as a backwash, and I'll just get this kind of rubbed on there. And that just kind of gets, this just
then
kind
you
of,
wipe it off. I see, yeah.
yeah, so it's not soaking wet, but it just kind of gets that stark white out of there.
Yeah.
Kind of helps you with the base of your color. And then it's also neat because it kind of, you can leave, whatever color you decide to put down back here, you can kind of let some of that peek through as you work through the painting. Add some harmonies to the overall structure of the
And it's
finished
probably
piece
best
there.
that there's some texture from your rag on there to work with, so it's not just flat.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
That too. And so then, when I'll draw the sketching in here, I'll again take some of, and I could tell you the exact names of these blues, but I'm on camera, so I'm not thinking straight.
But let me ask you one thing now. You always hear about warm and cool colors.
Yeah.
But this is something I noticed about your work that really struck me is you can almost tell the temperature of the scene you're painting by the colors you're choosing.
Yeah.
And when I saw your work, I thought, God, that looks hot. The cactus,
Oh, there
the
you go.
rocks, everything. And then I find out that you're in Arizona, Tucson originally,
Yeah.
and then now
Yeah.
Prescott.
Yeah.
So how do you capture atmosphere and temperature of where you're painting it? The magic is right here, right? With all these warm and cool colors?
It is, and that's such a tricky question because there's a
instinctive.
couple things that I've really struggled with as an artist, and they're like key things for artists. I don't know how it happens. It's magic, like you say. It's something happens in here.
Yeah.
Because I don't always the warms and the cools.
Yeah.
And it's like it sort of is above me. I don't know. I paint what I see.
Well,
And if it's hot, then it's gonna look hot. I don't know how it works out.
That's-
So like and values, those are things that I struggle with. I don't know why.
this is
so
why
I
I don't
just-
paint.
yeah,
So, but
I
I,
just-
admire what you do because it's totally instinctive, and that's the level we all, as artists, want to work from, is that instinctive level.
Yeah, and I hope it is instinct.
Oh.
And I'm glad to hear comments like that because as artists, we're a little bit, concerned about what people think about what's going on.
sure.
So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's working. Something's
Yeah,
happening.
that's right.
Something's working out.
Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
All
so
right.
anyway.
All right. So yeah, then I'll go with, like again, I said some blue and red, just for my. This becomes my pencil then.
Okay. This is where the drawing begins.
Yeah. And a lot of artists, and I've been taught to do a lot of sketching and pre-sketching, and that's really good practice for sure. But sometimes when you're doing plein air, you've got to catch the sun and the shadows, and that happens. That can be
fast.
really quick, like an hour, hour and a half tops is what you've got to really capture that. So I don't like to spend a lot of time drawing, but I like to get an idea of kind of where I'm going. So yeah, I've got this cactus scene here. And when you're painting from life, you can change things around just like with a photograph. So people always say, "Oh, you shouldn't paint from photographs," but I took this photograph.
You were
So
there.
I still know what's going on with this. So I'd like to kind of bring the whole horizon down, sort of maybe more like this. As you can see, it's more flat there. So I'll bring it. I like to get a little dramatic, some lines there. This dark spot here, obviously, you don't want it to be too rectangular.
Gentlemen, we have Keith Kendall coming in, just saying, good to see a couple talents just having fun.
Well, thank you, Keith. And
Keith,
talk about talent. You are too.
Yeah.
Another Prescottonian.
Thanks, Keith. So I'll just kind of keep working this sketch in here a little bit.
So you're blocking in some of the shadows, and those are obviously cooler colors, right? With the,
Yeah, they're going to be
blue.
cooler colors, and yeah, just getting some ideas here. The sketch kind of can evolve and change as we work through it here. So, and I have another couple photographs that sometimes I'll take, and that's what kind of gets tricky is that's a cool tree, and I'll do 15 shots of the tree, and then I'll kind of, which one? And I'll put this part here and this part there, and a little bit, maybe some over here, and add all those photographs together. So I've kind of have some photographs that I'm using from my mind here a little bit.
Sure. And
Gentlemen, we have Lycia Lighthorse. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Just stating an awesome idea.
Oh,
Your
good.
technique
Good.
and just how he's rolling here.
And it's fun because, as we've said before many times, this is live, and this is real, amazing fine art being created right before your eyes. And with Dane, we're going to be able to see this painting evolve over 2 segments. So today and then next Saturday, you'll see the same painting as it evolves. But right from the start, you're seeing it.
Ruth Gordon, good morning from Pensacola.
Hey, Ruth, good morning.
That's far away.
Yes. Every week, Ruth, we're glad to have you.
So then I'm going to put some of these cactus in here. The reason I like this is because the berries on this cactus were just right up in the sky, so you can kind of really highlight those guys. Coming up there, got one in here.
And I see you're bringing the cactus forward to the viewer too.
Yeah, a little, because I want to highlight that.
Yeah.
And then
And it's not in the center, which is a great composition.
yeah, you definitely want to. And although, see, there's all these rules that happen in art, and I try, as I've learned the rules, I think, God, am I keeping all the rules? You know, I don't want to be tied in. So I've actually seen people do some of the most amazing paintings with a telephone pole directly in the center. And people would say, oh, you just split that painting in half, but he did it well. So you can break rules. Picasso said, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like a something or other.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
And Picasso was one of my favorite artists growing up. So.
Well, Bob Knutson, another inspiration of your friend of yours, is he from Prescott as well?
Yeah, he's a local Prescottonian.
Yeah.
Master.
You learned a
Bob
lot
Knutson.
from him.
Yeah.
And this was back in your high school days, right?
Well, Bob didn't come along until about 10 years ago. I started working with Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a great painter, and from what I've seen of his work, I have to suspect that he lived in the northern states for a while, the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, his story is pretty amazing. He quit his job. He just kind of one day said, I'm quitting. I think he was an accountant or something, and just said he bought a Volkswagen van and packed his kids up, and they just went painting. And he went kind of from the north east, and then traveled down. He spent a couple years in Jerome back in the 60s living there. And they just camp and paint.
I just guessed that based on his mountain scenes. He's been there a lot, and so I assumed that's where he was painting a lot as well. Now, when you're drawing these lines in, some of them are compositional to lead your eye, and this is, again, on an instinctive level.
Yeah.
but you're drawing the eye toward the focus, which is the cactus. And
Yeah, right. And that's where you take a photograph or you see something, and well, that tree isn't where I want it to be. So I can move stuff around in creation, and that's kind of cool to be able to do that.
Gentlemen, we have Diana Ferens, excuse me, good morning from Ohio. Love watching Dane paint.
Welcome,
She's
Diana.
enjoying this. And
Thank
then
you.
Aaron Bernruder, good morning from
Yeah.
Riverside, California. So
Yeah.
people viewing from all over the country. It's
Yeah,
very cool.
I love it. Drawing a great audience, Dane.
Glad to have you with us virtually.
It's, yeah.
So let's see, this guy's coming out like that a little bit, and then there was a bush over here. And so what I'd like to do is these kind of pushing this way, cactus sort of just a little off center, and then running this way, down this way, and then there was a little bush here that I thought with some grass coming up like that I could probably shoot you back in and down around.
Sure.
I could put clouds in there, but I think it would start to get a little too busy.
Sure. That makes sense. A lot going on.
Yeah, and you can get, you can definitely get too much going into a painting, and I don't know, sometimes it's bad and sometimes that's the way it is.
Gentlemen, we've got Kim Corey, our good friend, coming in.
Hi,
She says,
Kim.
hi, Dane, love that theory about breaking the rules. She says, I break the rules all the time. The beauty,
Right.
of, the beauty of being self-taught, says Kim.
Thanks for chiming in, Kim.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'll leave that, I think.
Sure.
Just kind of give me some pointers and guides along the way.
So will that be the extent of your brushwork?
Yeah, so then brushes are gone, and I like to
Wow.
keep it clean here. And also with the brush, you see a lot of artists with the paper towel.
Yeah.
And so with the palette knife, I don't need all that. I have a little towel here.
Yeah, that's
and,
it.
My knife.
So you're using paint right as the consistency would be right out of the tube. You're
Yeah.
not having to. That makes it nice.
Yeah, and I don't usually thin it out. Yeah, so I jumped into palette knife because Bob's, as we were
Yeah.
working together, I had a hard time keeping paint on the brush and making it stick to the canvas. And I've got this palette knife and I'm mixing my colors and I put that down in the brush. And he said, more paint, more paint, more paint. And I said, well, I'll skip the brush and I'll just, skip the middle, man, and go right to the brush
There
here.
you go.
Hey, Dane, we have our good friend here, Shirley, asking, how do you come up with your titles?
The
Good
titles.
question.
The titles, surely. I go to West Clear Creek and I think, this is, West Clear Creek in the morning time, and that would be a perfect title. Or I could be more artsy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll think about, the emotions I had, maybe the emotions that I'm thinking of after the painting's done at the studio. And
So the title of this one is
what is the title of that one? I forget the title.
A Long Way Out, I think. Isn't it?
What is the title? Look on the back.
Yeah.
What's it say
Here,
on the
I'll
back
look.
of it?
I'll look. Finding a Way Out.
Finding a Way Out.
Which
Okay,
is a
so
great title.
This would be a little more simplistic. Finding a Way Out. So yeah, in the
Because you're in that canyon.
in the
and you have to
canyon,
backpack
2,000-foot walls, you've got to find your way out.
Yeah.
But so generally what I'll do is I'll think of the emotion, the feeling, of the thought,
Yeah.
and then I'll pull out the thesaurus. And that's where it comes from. And these gals at the gallery just throw fits about, how do you even pronounce that? And customers say, I'd buy that, but I can't pronounce it. Well, that's art.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, a couple more people coming in. Tom Hammond from Cottonwood,
Tom,
local guy, just
thank
saying
you.
good morning, checking in.
I just drove through there.
And then Erin Boonritter again, she's just saying her whole family watches.
Oh, we're so thrilled.
8-year-old Alan, 6-year-old Audra, 3-year-old Honora, 1-year-old Alina. Thank you very
Man,
much.
you got a
So-
great
so
family.
The whole fam
Wow,
watching.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's great. And then so man, that's such a joy when I'm painting. It doesn't have to happen often because sometimes I get pretty, I can get far out. But sometimes a family will be walking by, and they'll stop and say, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm painting, and can we stop and look? Sure, come in. And then the kids, boy, they get in there, and they're right here, and they're excited. And then moms, don't get away, back up. And I'll just pick the kid up and give him a brush and whatever, and say, So some of these paintings, you might find a little mark of some kid that walked by and his mom wouldn't let him. And
That is great.
so I was encouraged as an artist when I was a kid, and that's where it starts. Again, Picasso said, everyone's born an artist. It's a matter of trying to remain an artist.
Oh, there you go.
That's the key.
So I see you're mixing some blue, which I assume is the sky.
Yeah, I like to start in the sky here, and I don't know. We'll see what this color looks
Okay.
like. So I like to start in painting. I don't know. It's not, again, it's a rule that you can break or keep, but I like to start from the back and work forward. So obviously the sky is the farthest away here. And I'm trying to think about what color might work good with this green and the pink of the berries there.
So a complementary colors, you would say.
Yeah, so I might get in here and think, oh, that's going to be too dark or too light or whichever. Or sometimes when you're working from a photograph, the color doesn't come all the way through there, so you might change it up a little bit.
Well, I can already see some of the texture coming through that you're so good at.
Yeah, and that's that texture that I've always admired as an artist in other paintings.
Well, that just pops already. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think that sometimes is what the...
Hey, gentlemen, we got Ron Sitaway. We know Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Good morning. Love watching this creative process, he says. And Cindy Reynolds. Dane,
Oh,
it's such an
welcome,
honor to
Cindy.
hear about your process
Cindy.
as you paint. This is lovely. Says
Good.
Cindy. Very, very nice.
Cindy's been with me on many trips to paint and around places.
Really?
Yeah,
Good.
good to hear from her.
So as you work toward is it lighter on the horizon and darker as you go up into the sky, or vice versa?
Yeah, that's right. That's usually how it
Okay.
works. Any time of day, really, it's going to be lighter at the horizon, and
Okay. You're keeping that in mind for sure.
sometimes I keep that in mind. Sometimes I forget.
Well, whatever it is, it's an instinctive level that's been working for you.
Yeah, I think I'll bring that down a little bit. Come up here, so a little bit there. So we might not get too far into this
Well, that's fine.
as I work it through.
We can already see what your process is all about. And you're
Think we're
not
getting-
worried about edges. In fact, the edges are great that cast shadows and what you're leaving on there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of the neat part about palette knife is you get so much paint on there, it kind of begins to, stuff just starts to happen in there. So this little triangular part right there, I don't like that at all. I think that would be too much of a
Yeah.
distraction up at the top of the painting
Yeah.
there. So I might bring that down. And so sometimes if you're working in plein air, you might get some sky in there just to get you where you're at. And then you can say, well, I pretty much know what I can do there, so I need to catch these shadows down in here with this cactus and these berries. So I might stop there and then come in here
Ah, interesting.
and put in some of these.
So the whole painting is evolving almost at the same level, maybe?
Yeah,
So you don't get one ahead of the other.
right, yeah. Sometimes you see in some of the paintings I've got, I think in the gallery here, when I'm painting it, I look at the shadows and they're, that's a neat shadow. It goes straight across the morning sun coming in like that.
Yeah.
And then I've worked on it too long or whatever. And then the building that I'm working on last, the shadows were the same way, but when I'm actually painting the building in there, now the shadows are going this way. So you'll see the ground shadows go this way. Well, how come this shadow goes this way?
Ah,
So you kind of have to catch those kind of quick in there before
Sure.
before you lose them. Getting snapped at over here?
so we're about 25 minutes in, so
Oh, wow.
you've made some good progress.
And Ken and Dane, at some point, we want to be able to insert that video
Oh, yeah.
of
So,
Jeff, which is about a minute. Just at some point here before
Sure.
you guys are done, we want to
so
still
Dane, this
pop
would
that
be a
in there.
good time. I'll let you keep going, but
Yeah.
let's talk about what happened with Simba this week with the mold making process. And again, this is at Jeff Christensen's studio. As I mentioned before, this is the most important phase of the casting process. Without what Jeff is doing, we wouldn't have a quality casting. The rubber he's painting on, he has to do it in segments again, so he's putting a divider on the head and on the paws of this piece that he's molding, so that the mold will come apart in two halves. He's going to pour wax in there, and then, which we will also see on camera in about 2 months or so, and then that segmentation of the mold allows the wax to be removed from the mold without damaging it. So again, it's a really important part. We'll be keeping you posted every week on his progress. So I just wanted to bring you up to date on that. Okay. Wow, that's dark.
Yeah, and sometimes you might come in too dark and have to change that up. And that's kind of the neat thing about oil paints is this will be 2 weeks drying or curing, as they call it. So I don't have to worry about getting everything exact right away. I can say, it came out too dark, scrape it off, and maybe lighten it up
Gentlemen,
a
we
little
have
bit.
Kim Corey again, just stating it's already recognizable as a Dane Chinnock painting.
It is, isn't
Already
it?
taken life.
Well, one thing-
Joel Peterson just saying cool.
Oh, good, Joel. Thank you. Well, as an artist, I mean, as you know, Dane, we strive to create the best work we can, but also in that process have a signature to your work that people know. That's a Dane Chinnock from across the room before they even see your name.
And that's been, in my opinion, Ken, that's been the thing I've struggled with the most. And so when I hear they say, oh, that's it, and then I realize something happened along the way and it worked, and I've got a signature style, and that's
Well, it's
a
uniquely
real,
yours, which is really a gift,
yeah.
rather than somebody else's style you're trying to emulate. But I would think back to the color you're putting on now, with that being dark, I would think you would want that because then the lighter colors will really have a good contrast.
Yeah, as you can see, that sky already pops
Yeah.
against that,
Yeah.
that dark there, so.
Erin commenting back in again. She was just stating on the video we just showed to Jeff, the mold maker, that love watching Simba.
Oh, good. Yes.
I do
Yes.
too. That's phenomenal, by the way. Ken.
Thank you. Well, Simba lost his head
Uh-oh.
in the molding process, and so Dana, I'm going to let you keep going on this,
Yeah.
and we will get to see you next weekend.
Yeah,
right?
be here next weekend.
So maybe take this to whatever point you feel you're comfortable with, and will the paint stay wet in the week?
This will be 2 weeks. It'll still be
excellent.
wet to the touch. Yeah.
Well,
So-
we are so proud to have you, and you'll see all of Dane's work on our website, rowegallery.com. Read about Dane, look at his newest pieces, which he just brought us today. Check him out. He's fantastic, and we're proud to have him.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ken.
Dane, so
Thanks,
much.
everyone.